Well, hello everyone. This is Barbara Rosgoni, and thank you for joining me for an interview with the skateboarder extraordinaire, Peter Svoboda.
Hello, everyone.
Peter's been skating since I think he was 4 years old, and he's had lots of illustrious accomplishments over the years, including being in premiere videos, being a skate camp counselor, and traveling the country with his skateboard in hand. And Peter is now in Tempe, Arizona, where he lives, films, and is a mixologist. So, Peter, why don't you tell us a little bit about skateboarding and what it means to you?
Skateboarding in general to me is just it's a excuse to have fun, and it's my community, and it's basically given me all the opportunities that have come my way. It's an extremely rewarding experience. It's given me a lot of injuries, but I've come back from all of them, and yeah, it's a great way to stay in shape and just have fun and make a ton of friends.
All right, so that all sounds really exciting. And today what we're going to talk about is one of the things that I think I have trouble watching is I guess the bails, you know, and I speak to a lot of businesses and groups, and I know skateboarding is becoming very popular and prominent. There's going to even be a 2020 skateboarding event in the Olympics. And I kind of, as a joke, wrote skateboarders ring the NASDAQ bell. And then I looked, and honestly, they actually did. So it's, if you haven't looked at skateboarding lately, it's really something to watch. And part of it, I think, is the culture. So one of the things is people in everyday life look at is how do you keep going and how do you keep trying when you know that there's a pretty good chance you're going to fail, but you do it anyway. So if you could talk about what goes through your mind when you're thinking about these tricks.
Well, I mean, it's like I said, or like I always say, you know, it's basically just overcoming your fears. I mean, like the sense of danger in there too, kind of like makes you feel a little more alive. I mean, I know there's a ton of time. I mean, just recently I skated for the first time in like a week since I had like an injury in Tucson, and I fell down, and like, it just makes me feel younger, more limber to like fall down. But like, you get to a point when you're skating where like you can do it comfortably and you know what you're doing. It's the same thing as like ice skating or skiing or something where like you learn to fall down a certain way. So then you don't get hurt as bad. And like, you know, you can just basically use that to your advantage. It's not, after a while, it just doesn't, I mean, there's still times when I'm looking at like a handrail and stuff like that, and I'm like considering like, well, if I miss my board right here, my truck hits it in a different way than I wanted to, then I'm probably going to fall down and possibly like hit my face or something. But you know, that rarely ever happens. It just goes through your head. But if you're able to overcome that and actually accomplish it, there's nothing quite like that feeling. And if you film it too, it's really fun because you get to watch it with all your friends.
Well, that's part of it
really
too. You've got proof, and you can watch it over and over again if you film it. So how do you psych yourself up though? Because some of the things I've seen you do, like ride down a 10 stair, you've got that one video where you come over a roof, and I've showed that to friends, and they're like, how can you smile when you see that? And part of me, my heart stops, but I know how it's going to end. So what goes through a skateboarder's mind when you look at this incredibly, let's face it, it should be impossible feat, but you accomplish it. And I know when you watch skateboarding videos, you see this over and over.
Mm-hmm. I mean, like, well, you know, it's a very like, it's interesting because like there's a lot of stuff. I mean, most of the time it's just basically just skill and being able to like, you know, want to do something so bad, and just knowing that you're going to do it, and like just being like, okay, well, I'm going to do this. Even if you're scared, just telling yourself that you're going to do it no matter what, that you really want to do it. Not just that you want to do it, that you really want to do it. But also, I mean, there's times when like when you're skating like a bigger stair set or something like that, and you just don't even remember what happened really. Like one moment you pop the trick, the next you're in the air doing it, but you don't remember that at all. When you land it rolling away, you're just like, whoa, like how did that even happen? So that's really cool when that happens. But I mean, that stuff is kind of rare. It's literally just like jumping. It's like, you could compare it to like jumping off a cliff into like the ocean or something like that, really. You know, like you're looking at it and you're really, really, really excited, and you're like, okay, like, here we go. Like, I got to do it. I'm going to do it. Like, you need people there to be like, you got this, you can do it. Like, don't worry about it. You got this. And then when you finally do it, you're like, it wasn't that hard, but the initial, like, I'm about to do this is really exciting. I don't know.
Wow. Yeah. Well, it sounds like you're saying a couple things. It helps to have a cheering section, and
Yeah.
it helps to step out and say that you're going to do it, and you know what you're going to do. One thing that I think has been interesting is just thinking out how you're going to design the trick or find the spot. So what makes a good spot and how do you find them?
Just basically something that's skatable, something that looks like it would be good for skating, but also scenery's got a lot to do with it for me. It's harder to find stuff in Arizona really that looks cool because it's mostly just ditches and like dirt and stuff like that. But like if you're in like Chicago, seriously, if you're a place where there's just like breathtaking, like jaw-dropping buildings all around and stuff like that, like this, and it looks cool on film, like that's another big deal. I mean, like a whole lot of vibe for like what a skate video is and what people make is based on like the area and what it looks like, you know.
Well, there's some filmmaking that goes into it too, the scene setting and yeah. Talk to me a little bit about the fashion. How did skateboarders decide what to wear?
Just literally based on seeing someone that looks cool and then wearing that because it looks cool. I mean, that's how it always starts when you're like a kid. You see someone that you think looks cool and you're like, oh, damn, like I want to look like that guy. But then the older I get, the more I notice and the more I realize I just want to like, you know, you just want to kind of stand out and look cool. Like there's a bunch of clothes I have that I like only use for skating because I think they look sort of funny in real life, but when you're skating it looks kind of cool. It looks kind of cool.
It's almost like a costume, like figure skaters. Not quite, but you do have that.
Yeah, like I have a pair of like big like bright red Dickies that like I would never wear to work, you know. They're almost like neon red, but then when I'm skating in them, like the footage looks like crazy. So
yeah, you really stand out when you have those on, don't you?
Yeah, pretty much.
So tell me about the crew that you need to do the skateboard videos. Who do you need? You got the skater. Who else do you need?
Basically just like, I mean like, basically, honestly, just your best friends, but your best friends include like someone that films, someone that you trust, hopefully, because it helps to have someone that you can trust behind the lens and know it's going to look good. Because a lot of the filming is done on cameras like this, where you, like, if you're filming on this with like a fisheye, then you're not going to be looking through the viewfinder. You're just going to be like holding it like this. So you need to be comfortable with them to be able to use the camera in like in an effective way. But you just need that basically. And then friends to skate with helps more than anything. If you're trying something, especially if it's a hard trick, if you have someone else skating the spot with you, then you actually have like it's a bonding experience. It's a lot of camaraderie goes on if you're going to like try to do something dangerous with someone else in any situation. I
guess, yeah. And then there's a big celebration afterwards, of course.
Of course, yeah. And then also like a photographer, if there's one around, is also like will get you psyched. Because I mean, you know, if you're trying something crazy, like even not with skating, if you're trying something like if you're trying to take a cool photo or like film something cool, you look at it and you're like, oh, that was cool, but I think I could do it better. You know, and so if you're trying something and you're watching it and your friend's like, oh, look how I'm filming this, or like, look at this photo, like I think I got the photo. And then you're like, okay, well now I have to land it, now I have to do it. It's nice.
Mm-hmm. That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
So what kind of tricks are you trying to get right now?
I mean, there's still that thing in Tucson I gotta do, which is like a big like 3-block, and at the top there's like a curb up to it, so you have to pop over it. I'm trying to do a trick over it, and it's a pretty hard trick, so I have to go really fast, and I have to pop early, so basically jump early and able to get over the curb part and then go down to a drop. So I'm trying to do that.
Woo!
And then, yeah, right. And then also one of my friends has got an HD camera, like a huge HD camera, and me and him have been just filming like random stuff. So that's been a lot more fun. We like to just go out to like any spot and just film random stuff. So that's been cool. So
then when you do the filming, it winds up, where does it wind up? I mean, you have all this footage. What do you do with it?
Most people make videos, and they could be like ones that you do a DVD for with a Premiere and sell them online, which a lot of people do. Especially if you have a certain amount of recognition, you can actually make a decent amount of money off of doing that. Or just like YouTube is just the new thing now, you know, like Thrasher magazines, YouTube is like more popular than their actual magazine now.
Really?
Yeah, I'd say so. I'd say so. Everyone is subscribed, and everyone watches. Every single person that skates watches Thrasher stuff. But I can't even name any of my friends that actually subscribe to the magazine. If they do, I don't know about it.
Yeah, they probably read it in the skate shops.
Exactly. Yeah.
So what are skate shops like? Are those like community centers for the
Yeah,
skateboarders?
to a certain degree. It's a place to hang out and just look at all the cool stuff. I mean, the one that I read for a shop in Illinois, but there's a shop here called Cowtown that's a really good shop. And I live walking distance from there, and all my friends work there. So a lot of days, if I have work off, like today, probably when we're done talking, I'm going to walk over there and bother whoever's working and just talk about skating and kind of mess around with them a little bit. It's really fun. I get to talk about all the product and stuff like that, and talk about like how the shop's doing, and like I don't know, it's a lot of fun.
Well, a lot of people think skateboarders are just kids riding around on boards. And if we really look at what values, you've mentioned a lot of different things that we've talked about, but if you had to say what are like the top 3 to 5 values that make skateboarding so important and such a good community, what would you say they are?
Well, one of them is that we're just a bunch of kids riding around on boards, playing around with wooden toys. That's for sure. That's like a big one, because it's just like I feel like there's a lot of people, especially my age, 25 or like older, there's a lot of people that don't really have that sort of outlet. It's just like fun. It's literally just playing with like a little thing. And then also other values is like just community and camaraderie between friends. My best friends of all time, my friends have filmed me break bones, have filmed me accomplish great feats, and have filmed each other like party and just have a good time. Like we're always just filming each other, and like those things I have for the rest of my life. And even when they're gone, which I've lost some friends, or if anything happens to us, like we have all this footage to watch and remember everyone by, and it's amazing. And then also another value would just be able to just like do things and have a chip on your shoulder, and like in a good way, and just be able to accomplish things without really even though you try like and you'll fail a bunch of times, like just being able to get back up and do it over and over and over and over again until you accomplish what you want. Because I mean, there's plenty of times when like me or a friend will land a trick, but it's not the way we want to do it. The filmer knows it's not the way we want to do it, and we'll kind of look at each other and be like, all right, like one more, like even if it's a really hard trick, and like it's funny because like there'll be a lot of times when you'll land something and it's not good enough, but like everyone thinks it's good and they've been sitting around for a while, and they'll be like, yeah, you did it. This is great. And I'll just be like, hell no, like to hell with that. I got to go do it again. So yeah, lots of values.
Yeah. Well, community, consistency, confidence, those are a lot of really cool things. And I think grit, determination, you really want to keep going. So if you had to give advice to yourself when you were like maybe, what would you tell yourself maybe even like 10 years ago? What would you have said?
10 years ago, don't try tricks twice on film. Just stick with the one you landed. If you did it good, no need to get another angle of it, for sure. That's number one right there. Don't take it too seriously, because then you lose a lot of fun. I mean, there's, like the older I get, the less seriously I take it and the more fun I have. Like skateboarding is more fun now than it's ever been, and like it's just because I've got a bunch of friends who I can just meet up at the skate shop, or like go find like a cool curb to like skate a couple times or something, like, you know what I mean? Like it's just trying to have fun, as much fun as possible. I would tell myself to have as much fun as possible with it, and don't worry about like endorsements or trying to be like the best or anything.
Just be who you are and love it.
Exactly. Yeah, precisely.
Yeah. Well, that makes a lot of sense. Well, we talked about skateboarding, about your values, your tricks. Is there anything else you'd like to tell people about skateboarding, what they can learn from it that you think they need to know?
The things you're going to learn, or the most important values I've learned, are not the things you're going to see during the Olympics. You're not going to see them during the X Games or Street League or whatever you watch on TV. The most important things I've learned about skateboarding have been sitting on a curb, or sitting on a ledge at a skate park talking to people that I've met throughout my life, and the interesting people that it brings, and like even ones that don't skate or even ones that aren't around anymore. Like I've learned countless things from them, even if it was unintentional by them. I've learned countless of values and lessons and everything just from all that. It made me who I am. And if you're gonna think about it and you're gonna watch it happen and stuff like that, just know the most important things about it are not what you're actually seeing. It's just like what happened, you know?
Wow. That's really profound.
It's a profound sport.
It is. Well, there's a lot more to it than just riding up the half pipes and grinding on the rails. There's a lot more to it.
Well, here's this. My friends from Las Vegas made a video that I was featured in. Well, I mean, I had a couple clips in, but it's mostly it's just their video, but I was lucky enough to be a part of it. And they made this little insert for the DVD right here. And I left it on my computer, and it literally just says, skateboarding might be the easiest thing on planet Earth, of course. Surprisingly, another crazy easy thing is the great concept of equality. And that's all it says on here. And it's just, I don't know, it's cute. And like, skateboarding is a great outlet for that kind of stuff. You know, like there's no real discrimination towards anybody doing it ever. It's just if you're cool and you can do it, then you're cool, you know?
Exactly. Yeah. One thing we didn't talk about is the art that goes into the designs for the board. That's pretty interesting, and the shirts. And so there's so many different tangents. Do you want to talk about artistic tangent?
Yeah, there's a bunch of, I mean, like it's really a great outlet for anything. And there's actually this article on this website called Jankum Magazine, which is a funny name, but it's just basically like a low-key sort of skate mag-website. And they have a professional art critique, or a professional art critic, this woman, I think she's from New York, and she critiques skateboarding art.
Wow.
And she twice now, and it's a really interesting article because she just goes over all her normal ways of critiquing art, but it's based on just skateboarding stuff. And it's not what you think it is. It's not like dude skating, a drawing of a dude skating, or like a painting of a dude skating. It's just like really weird art that was created by skateboarders. So it's a great outlet.
You put it on the bottom of the board and you skate on it.
Yeah, and then it gets just, it gets just completely, it ends up on the curb or ledge wherever you were, or a rail, you know, or wax takes it off completely. So, but it's still fun.
Yeah, it's like almost not throwaway art, but wearable art in the real sense. So.
Oh yeah, definitely. And I mean, there's so much you can do.
Yeah, well, there's so much depth and richness to skateboarding, and I know we could talk more and go into more detail. Maybe we will, but I do want to thank you for your time. And if you have any last bits of advice on how to get gnarly and keep going after the nail it instead of
you're not going to do anything crazy or anything. You're not going to do any crazy accomplishments or anything unless you really want to. If you want to do it, you might do it, but you're not going to do it unless you really want to do it. And there's nothing wrong with failing, because it's more common than success. But the more you try something, the harder you work at it, obviously. So you're just going to get better at it. So remember that. And also, don't take it too seriously. So that's my advice to everybody about skating, or that's what I've learned.
Oh, good lessons for life too. Alrighty, well, thank you so much, Peter. That's Peter Svoboda, S-V-O-B-O-D-A. Look him up. You can find his video clips on YouTube and enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.